The tangled shrub of human ancestry sprouts a new branch. A kind of ancient human, previously unknown to science, has been unearthed, according to researchers in the Philippines. Homo luzonensis, a small-bodied hominid, existed on the island of Luzon between 50,000 and 67,000 years ago. The hominin, which was identified by a total of 7 teeth and 6 tiny bones, possesses a mix of primitive and modern traits. Luzon is now the third Southeast Asian island in the last 15 years to show evidence of unexpectedly ancient human activity, according to the groundbreaking discovery published in Nature on Wednesday. According to research co-author and project manager Armin Bijares, an archaeologist at the University of the Philippines Diliman and a recipient of a National Geographic grant, the Philippine Islands have been more or less left out for a long time. The outmoded notion that the human line cleanly developed from less advanced to more advanced species is challenged by H. luzonensis, which flips the script. The lineages leading to Homo sapiens and chimpanzees split about 7 million years ago, which marked the beginning of the tale of human evolution. Learn about the ancestors of the modern human species and how the evolution of particular physical and behavioral qualities led to the definition of what it means to be a human. Yusuke Kafu, a paleoanthropologist at Tokyo's National Museum of Nature and Science, who was not involved in the current study, said via email, "This new discovery made me thrilled. It goes above and beyond my expectations in highlighting the incredible diversity of archaic, primitive hominins that were once existent in Asia." Paleoanthropologist Ada Gomes-Robles, who studied the work before it was published, is cautious to categorically state that the discovery is a new species. She does, however, add that all explanations for the strange fossils are fascinating. "It's unquestionably one of the most significant discoveries that has been made in a while," she claims. The history of Asia looked much more simple, if incomplete, decades ago. Paleoanthropologists were aware that roughly 1 million years ago, ancient hominins such as Homo erectus crossed land bridges into what is now Indonesia. However, it was believed that further east, these hominins encountered ocean currents that were regarded to be impassable without boats. Because land bridges had never been built to connect Luzon to the mainland, archaeologists believed that delving into older, deeper soil layers wouldn't offer much information on early human travel. Bijares first explored Callao Cave in 2003 and discovered 25,000-year-old traces of human activity, but he only went down about 4 feet. Most Southeast Asian archaeologists would only dig up to 2 meters before stopping, according to Bijares. The discovery of Homo floresiensis, a little hominid popularly known as the Hobbit, who lived on the Indonesian island of Flores until 50,000 years ago, brought about a radical transformation in the world's prehistoric perceptions in 2004. In 2007, Bijares went further in Callao Cave after being inspired to do so. Where they had stopped digging in 2003, the crew dug through more than 5 feet of clay, but there were no fossils to be found. But after that, they discovered a layer of breccia, a kind of rock created from a mishmash of different substances. Interestingly, this layer included bone fragments that had long before washed into the cave. The only creatures represented by the bones at first glance appeared to be pigs and deer. A virtually complete foot bone that appeared to be human popped out when pieces were examined more closely, though. Philip Piper, a co-author of the new paper who was perusing the animal remains, received the fossil from the team. "He called me up and said, 'Hello mate, you got human remains,'" Bijares claims. "I responded, 'Really? Then we'll go buy a beer.'" The 67,000-year-old fossil, which Bijares and his colleagues hypothesized may have belonged to a small-bodied member of Homo sapiens, was exposed in 2010. At the time, it was possibly the oldest indication of our species anywhere in the Philippines. However, Bijares believed it might potentially be a new species, perhaps an H. floresiensis of the Luzon. To be certain, the team required additional fossils. As it happened, excavations at Callao Cave between 2011 and 2015 turned up 2 more toe bones, 7 teeth, 2 finger bones, and a portion of a femur. The remains represent at least 3 people in total. Curves and grooves on the tiny fossils show an intriguing combination of primitive and more sophisticated characteristics. For example, the tiny size and relatively straightforward shapes of the teeth suggest a more modern individual. But one upper premolar contains 3 roots, a characteristic shared by fewer than 3% of contemporary humans. 1 foot bone is similar to that of an ancient species known as an Australopithecine, which includes the famous human ancestor Lucy, and traversed Africa about 3 million years ago. The Homo naledi, discovered in South Africa by a team that included National Geographic grantee Lee Berger, has traits that resemble both old and modern technology, according to anthropologist Shira Bailey of New York University, who specializes in ancient teeth. She interprets the two findings as evidence that mosaic evolution among hominins was more widespread than previously believed. Martin Torres goes on to say that the combination of dental traits is somewhat similar to those found in the recently described 15,000-year-old hominid remains from Dushan in southern China, along with H. luzonensis. The discovery adds to prior findings that suggest a stunning degree of diversity among hominins existed in Asia by 12,000 years ago as the Pleistocene epoch came to an end. According to John Hawks, a paleoanthropologist at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, who was not involved in the study, H. luzonensis' diminutive stature could possibly make some characteristics of the bones appear more archaic than they actually are. Comparisons of this species to other known hominins are complicated by this. In spite of the interesting characteristics and his belief that a new species is warranted, he concludes, "I really wish there were more bones." Others are more certain that H. luzonensis is a brand new species. The discovery team has done a very meticulous and commendable job describing these new fossils, and their naming of a new species, in my opinion, is valid, writes Griffith University archaeologist Adam Brum, an authority on H. florensis who wasn't involved with the study, in an email. This is a sensational discovery. Researchers are intrigued by suggestions that our distant cousins in the Philippines were engaging in some very familiar activities, including traces of tool use. However, the new hominin is finally described. A deer bone discovered in the same strata has what appear to be stone tool cut marks, according to the 2010 publication that first described the foot bone from the Callao Cave, which is now thought to be a component of H. luzonensis. The bone is interpreted by paleoanthropologist Michael Petraglia of the Max Planck Institute for the Science of Human History as evidence that H. luzonensis was an expert toolmaker and hunter. There is additional evidence that even earlier hominins, such as H. luzonensis, may have resided in Luzon. Stone tools and a butchered rhinoceros skeleton that are more than 700,000 years old were uncovered not far from Callao Cave in 2018, according to Mijuris and his colleagues. However, due to the long epoch between the tool site and the remains, it is difficult to determine if the stone tool users were ancestors of Homo luzonensis or a different hominin species. To learn more about the amazing world we're living in and the spectacular sceneries and discoveries we've unearthed, continue to browse the other videos on this channel. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe with the bell notification turned on.